Welcome back, Shalligators. I know. I promised you guys a weight loss video. I swear to goodness I'm going to do it. It's not my fault that celebrities just keep piping up and doing things, okay? Like getting engaged. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez is engaged to Ben Affleck. Fucking called it. What is the topic there? And I'll do a video. Not how to get your ex-boyfriend back, because I feel like we've covered that. And also, I've got something coming up for you in that genre. So, okay, I'll just tell you. Pretty soon, we're going to be releasing a course, a downloadable 5-step master plan of manipulation to help you get your ex-boyfriend back. I don't want to say too much now. I'm going to keep telling you guys about it as the release date gets closer, but just hold on to your pants because it's going to be really, really good. So, but today, let's talk about the Kardashians. And I know you're probably like, ugh, this shit again. Yes, this shit again. Yes, okay? Because a very sort of like quiet little story came out about Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson. Notably, that they actually didn't meet at Saturday Night Live like we kind of all assumed. Turns out they knew each other before then. They actually met at the Met Gala. And Kim texted Pete before her SNL appearance. Now, like I said, this is kind of a minor story and people are like, oh, weird. But here in the Shallontrage, we're used to breaking things down and getting some really good information out of something that seems maybe a little straightforward or even a little boring. What Kim did is truly masterful in the art of seduction. Now look, in order to watch the rest of this video, you're gonna have to buy into the theory, which I personally don't, that Kim had to somehow seduce Pete Davidson. Now, not really, okay? Because look, clearly Kim is like the big dog in the yard. I mean, she's one of the most beautiful women in the world, and Pete is that hot dude buying scratchers. Well, he's that dude buying scratchers. I don't know if he's the hot dude. I mean, you got, Fat Angelo and Little Mikey and, Ricardo the Jew, all of his whole crew, whatever, down at the bodega, getting a coffee, getting a Crulla, whatever. Anyway, in order to watch this video, yeah, we're all going to kind of have to like hive mind pretend that he wouldn't cut off a toe or perhaps many toes to date someone like Kim. Because that's going to help us get the real lesson out of here. Because what Kim did in just a very simple little text to Pete laid a foundation for the entire seduction of that man. I know, like she needed to seduce him. I get it. I'm right there with you. Just go with me on this because I promise it's going to help you really get the lesson and you're going to be able to take this tip into your own seductive life and really, really, really use it to your advantage. Whether or not you think Pete is such a catch. I mean, Jesus Christ, maybe you guys do. For all you girls out there who really think Pete is the catch here and not Kim, this video's for you, kid. It's the one you've been waiting for. But before we get started, just want to remind you guys, we have 2 spots left for our Mexico getaway at the end of August, August 23rd to 29th to Holbox, Isla Holbox. It's a little island, a little north of Cancun in Mexico. We're taking 20 Shalligators. It's going to be fantastic. And like I said, if you're still interested in coming to Italy with me, even though that trip is sold out, please add your name to the wait list because just might be adding a second trip. I don't know. I got to keep you on your toes a little bit. Also, if you want to talk to me one-on-one about anything like seduction, exes, family, work, blah, 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 anything like that, head on over to my website, shallonlester.com, where you can click submit a question. I get back to you in as little as 24 hours. Pretty fun. Okay, let's talk Pete and Kim. Because like I said, sorry, like there's something in my tongue. Like I said, she did something that was very subtle, almost like not something you would even notice. Right? Because the story is kind of like, oh, it kind of came and went. But for those of us clued into seduction and manipulation, it was, in fact, a brilliant move. And yeah, probably Pete didn't need a whole lot of convincing to give Kim Kardashian a chance. And the guys you fuck with better not need no motherfucking convincing either because you are a hot ass bitch. You are a ruthless, bad, perky-tittied, glossy-lipped, even though I'm wearing matte lipstick today, just go with it, alpha female, right? But seduction's a two-way street, and maybe there is a guy who you've got your eye on and you don't quite know how to approach him, because this is kind of the thing. It's like We of course don't want to chase anyone. This is our motto. Never chase. Not because, oh, it's like anti-feminist. It is. Like, I'm sorry, but making the first move is not me just being a feminist and like reclaiming my power. It's the motherfucking patriarchy dressed up as empowerment. Because when you're chasing a guy, you know what you're doing? You're being the guy. You're not getting dated. You're not getting courted. You're courting him. You're dating him. How is that valuing you as a woman? How is that giving you your respect and your propers? It's not. It's doing a man's job for him. And let me tell you, men have a very small job. Do they wear makeup? Do they pluck their eyebrows? Do they pour hot wax all over their pussy and get it ripped off? You know what? That's crazy. No. Do they even have to birth babies? Fuck, do they even have to raise babies? Or are we also probably going to do that? Do they make more money than us? That would be a yes. Do they get to run the world and pee wherever they want? Yes and yes. Are they afraid of getting raped? No. Do they get sexually harassed at work and called babe by their colleagues? Also no and also no. Okay? That's why we don't chase. I know my value as a woman, and it's higher than pursuing some dipshit of a man. And at the end of the day, any man who wants me to pursue him is in fact, by definition, a dipshit. However, we also know that we are not the fish, we are the bait. We bring the fish to us. And the bait has to be a little shiny, right? The bait has to be a little bit of a lure. And we can up this manipulation very easily doing what Kim did. So here's the magic in what she did. So the backstory is, everyone thought that they met on Saturday Night Live, and she had said that their first kiss was in that Aladdin and Jasmine sketch. And everyone assumed that this was the start of their romance. Now, I have a friend who used to be on Saturday Night Live, and I've been to the show so many times. And I know really the inner workings of it. And it is gnarly. Like, it's gnarly for the people on the show. Like, every Tuesday night, they stay up all night long, literally all night long, writing jokes, which I think is so dumb because, like, who the hell can be on their best game when they're exhausted? I can't. I need like 9 or 10 hours of sleep every night, and one day a week I need 12. That's just how I am. I can't fight through being tired. I'm exhausted today. Cowboy kept me up all night. I'm livid about it. That's why this video is kind of bad. But it's a really difficult job. They get one day off a week, which is Sunday. And we would always go to the show on Saturday night, obviously, and then we go to the after party. Now the show ends at 1 a.m., right? Because it's live. I mean, it's live. Then we would go to the after party. We would be out. I was out until 7 a.m. with Taylor Swift singing karaoke. Like, you're out all night long. And that's great for the celebrity. They can take their private jet and go relax and whatever. For the people who do the show, they're sleeping half of Sunday. They have 3 hours to go do their grocery shopping. Monday comes, it just starts all over again. So it's a really gnarly thing. And it's also difficult for the guests who are on there. They're kind of dropped into this environment. I had always heard that Drew Barrymore was the most hated host, even though she's hosted the most times, because she's one of those girls who thinks she's really funny and she's not. You know what I mean? She also, I think, thinks she's very, very hot, which at one time I guess she was in that sort of wild child way. She's not anymore. She's very rumpled and disheveled and sort of any woman you could see at a farmer's market. You know what I mean? Buying turnips and stuff. Her kids named Ziggy Stardust and Zelda and Zeppelin. You know who I mean. Anyway, she would come in and be like, I want to do this sketch and this sketch and this sketch. And they're like, that's not how this works. We don't. Okay. Anyway. So Kim was understandably nervous. And she had actually met Pete at the Met Gala a few months before. The Met Gala was in May. And I guess when was her thing? I don't know, a few months ago, whatever. So they had met and caught a vibe at the Met Gala. And by the way, wasn't this the Met Gala where she was in a full, her face didn't show? So very interesting that she managed to talk to anybody, that's so weird. But they exchanged numbers. And so she texted Pete ahead of her appearance, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. What have I gotten myself into? Am I going to be able to do this? And he wrote back something like, are you able to read a cue card? Then you're good. You're good. It's really not that hard. If you can show up and read a cue card, you're going to be great. Seems like a simple enough exchange. She texted the guy, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. He said, hey, if you can do this very simple thing, you're fine. This is what this video is about, Shallon? Seriously? There's some sort of seductive technique in there? Oh yeah, there is. Women and men are hardwired for different things, okay? Women are hardwired to nurture. That's why I got these big ass hips to hold a baby on it. I'm not meant to be loping down a savannah, hunting down a wildebeest, or even running a motherfucking marathon. You're not gonna catch me doing that. You know you can drive 26 miles? Very similar experience. Goes a lot faster, easier in your joints. That's what we're hardwired to do. And we see this, whether or not we have a baby or not, in all aspects of our life. We're lovers, we're nurturers, we're carers. You know, even the most ruthless among us, we're still pretty sweet. I am, you know? Men are hardwired to protect and provide. They're ruled by their ego, we're ruled by our hearts, okay? Even sexually, studies show that the number one thing a woman stresses about in bed is her body, and the number one thing a man stresses about is his performance. And this always, like, every time I repeat this to somebody or to myself, it's funny, the word performance, the old razzle dazzle, the curtain comes up and you got the kick line. We're like, performance. It's not, I don't know, like, it's not a performance. It's about like the connection. And I mean, yeah, orgasms are great and you want someone who cares if they can give you one. But I think we've all had great sexual experiences that aren't about like the crossing the finish line. You know, it's not about that for us. It's more about the connection, the nurturing, the empathy, the love. But for men, it's a performance. This is me as a man showing what I can do, showing what I can provide, right? How does this relate to Kim and Pete? Because when she texted him that, she kicked up and activated his basal instinct as a man, which is to protect and to provide. Men thrive on being asked questions where they can feel like an expert. One of the biggest questions I get from you guys is how to approach a dude at the gym, you know? Because we all see, obviously, like probably hotter guys than anywhere else at the gym. I mean, you're gonna find a higher per capita quotient of hotter dudes at the gym than like the Quick Stop, the Piggly Wiggly, right? They're working on their body, they're showing some skin, you're like, everyone's endorphins are up, you're pumping iron, those are the bonding hormones. Yeah, everyone's down to fuck. How do you approach someone though? And I always say the same thing, like ask him how a machine works. I know, don't like pretend you're dumb. Pick a machine that maybe you haven't learned. Even the most devoted of us gym rats, I say us like I'm one of them, I'm not. There's something we don't know how to do at the gym. There's something we could get better at. There's something we wondered about. We as women don't like to do this. You know, as modern women, we don't like to ask guys questions and because we think it makes us look weak and stupid. It doesn't, girl. It's the best thing because guys, when you go up to them and you're like, do you have any like ideas on how to work my delts? I'm actually not sure where they are, but my chiropractor said I should get them a little bit stronger. And you kind of seem like you're, you know, kind of know the lay of the land here. So I don't know if you know anything. He's going to be like, I absolutely do. Yes. Any guy who's like, no, I don't know, is either a homosexual. Great, good for him. Keep it moving. Or he's just a failure to thrive as a man. Because any real man is going to feel that impulse activated. I'm going to tell this girl, yeah, I'm going to help her. I am now useful as a man. Women communicate to build relationships. Men communicate to solve problems. So the way you engage a man and build rapport, build that seductive foundation, is to have a problem. Now look, we as women, many times, it's like we know this on some level. Oh, a man is hardwired to communicate about problems and to solve things and fix things. And we take it in the wrong direction. We bring him an emotional problem. And this girl at work, and she was so mean to me, and I don't even know. And he's like, I don't know, quit your job? Like, he doesn't know what to say, and that's the wrong kind of problem. We're overthinking this. We need to bring it down to like, how does this power tool work? Can you open this jar of peanut butter? There is a spider. I would like it to be killed. Kim Kardashian knows this because she went to Pete and said, am I going to do okay at this? Have I gotten in over my head? It was a little emotional. It was just emotional enough to stoke that protective response, but not so emotional that he's like, I'm not like a therapist. Like when something's too emotional, it veers into woman territory because, you know, when we call our friends and we bitch and we've had a hard day, what do we want? We want a hug. We want to be listened to. And in fact, when we deal with a man who's like, well, I don't know, you should quit your job, or like, just tell her to go fuck herself or file a report. We're like, God, Tyler, no. That's not, I just want you to listen. And he's like, what? It's confusing for them. Dial it down. Make it simpler. They're not very bright. Kim knows this. And for her saying to Pete, what have I gotten myself into? Am I going to do okay? He was stoked to protect, and he was stoked into providing. He is now, when he sees her in real life, going, because he's a man and he's hardwired to do this, position himself as the arbiter of her protection and her information. And all she did was ask one little question. I'm a little bit vulnerable. You're the expert here. I'm deferring to you. That's great for his ego, especially when dealing with a high-value woman like Kim, as we are all high-value women here listening, right? We know this. We know how intimidating we can be. This is the number one thing that ruins all my relationships. Guys are scared of me. They don't think that there's any value they can provide in my life. Well, she's like rich and like independent. I'm like, yeah, but don't put me in front of a fucking spider. I don't know how to change my oil. I'm actually remarkably ineffective day-to-day life. I'm just a soft potato on the internet, okay? It's really nothing to be that intimidated about. So I try to approach guys not from a place of weakness and not from a place of, I'm just an idiot, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I bring up topics where I don't know a lot. Oh my gosh, you're in construction? That's crazy. How do you know how to do that? How do you even like build a wall? Like, what goes into a wall, you know? And I say, I know I kind of sound silly, but I genuinely don't know. And I would like to know these things. Like, how did you learn that? Did your dad teach you? He's going to feel in control, which is good, especially if he's a little intimidated by me, you, any of us, Kim. He's going to be able to communicate more easily and effectively because he's communicating to solve a problem, right? And through this, we are going to get our communication needs met, which is building relationships. He's going to think, I don't remember even really what we talked about in this conversation, but I remember how she made me feel. She made me feel like a man. She made me feel smart. She made me feel capable. She made me feel a little bit, he's not even going to hone in on this, like she needed a little bit of protection. I'm building a house right now. I go out with guys who are in construction. I'm like, hey, would you want to come over and look at the build site? I feel like you really know what you're talking about, and I would love to have another pair of eyes on it. They're like, absolutely, I want to do that. Yes, let's go do that, right? I'm getting something out of this. I do feel protected. I do feel like I'm talking to someone knowledgeable, and they get something out of it too. It's not anti-feminist to use our innate hardwiring to our advantage. And if you think it is, if you think that that's not feminist, good luck out there, girl. Because women like me and women like the other shalligators are running you fucking ragged in the dating game. Because we understand the rules, we're using them to our advantage, and you're just sitting there bitching about how the game's rigged against you. It's actually not. When you learn to play by the rules and work them to your advantage, it's not rigged against you at all. It's remarkably simple. You're the one making it complicated. So, we're gonna make this actually a short and sweet video because I really want this message to just sink in. I don't wanna drown it with a lot of extraneous stuff because it really is pretty simple. Appeal to a man's ego, communicate to solve problems, set up a problem in a mild sense, right? For him to help fix, approach him with a sense of, and I don't mean this again in a way that makes you shrink, but in an attitude sort of deference to his skill set. Because look, don't you want someone who's going to speak to you in that manner? Wow, Shallon, you're a YouTuber? That's crazy, that's amazing. How do you do that? Oh, Caitlin, you're a nurse? I can't believe you know how to do all these things. What a big heart you must have. You must be so cool under pressure. We want someone approaching us in that way. And men are even more so like that because, again, of their hardwiring. So use this to your advantage. Do what Kim did. Approach someone, especially if you think he might be a little afraid of you or intimidated by you, appealing to his ego and to the parts of his life where he is considered or might potentially feel like an expert. It's really so simple. And if you guys like this video, and if you like this whole tactic, because this is, you know, a lot of times we come in here, we talk about empowerment, and it's a little bit more esoteric, a little bit more like psychological and heart-based. This is the motherfucking nitty-gritty, right? This is what to say, how to say it, why to say it. If you like stuff like that, I really do, guys, I really do think you're gonna like my course, my manipulation course on how to get your ex back. It's because it's going to be good for anyone. If, say, you've got a 2-year boyfriend who now needs to sow his wild oats, or you've been breadcrumbed by a fuckboy for 3 months and you're like, I don't know how to get out in front of this and take the power back. Maybe you met a great guy and you kind of blew it in the beginning. This happens so much. Like, you got a little too drunk one night, or you were still coming off something with a different ex. You were talking about this ex. There's a million ways we can blow it. We all know this. But you just kind of want to reset because you think, actually, there could be something really real here. Or maybe you just want to show an ex what he's missing. You want him to come back and want you, even though you don't want him. You just want to win. Well, I'm going to tell you how. We spent a year developing this course. Psychology, the art of seduction, manipulation, worksheets, attachment styles, it's all in there. It's going to give you a 5-step blueprint to just grab his life by the neck. He's never going to be the same. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that maybe Pete did need a little bit of convincing to date Kim? Or do you think he was like all in all at once? And let me know, again, like I said, what J-Lo topics kind of bubble up now that she's re-engaged to Ben Affleck. That woman, she must have a whole drawer at home just of engagement rings. What goals? What goals? I'll see you later, Shalligators. I'll see you next time.